Okay, so here's the second week of my training log, and this time I actually managed to get all 5 sessions on camera, and I started with squats, more post-activation potentiation stuff. So my strength load was 215 kilos, and my speed load was 170 kilos. I did 2 sets of 3 with 215 kilos, and the high bar squat's actually starting to feel quite good now. This felt fairly comfortable, and it's actually starting to become my preferred way of squatting. The 170 could have moved faster, but you know, in the coming weeks I'll work on that, and this was I think it was 4 sets of 2. As you can see, I've got my bacon and eggs top on, which has now become my squatting top after Amy was thoughtful enough to buy it for me. So the next workout was rack presses at a couple of different heights, followed by some shoulder assistance stuff. This is 145 kilos for 3 sets of 5 and 1 set of 4. This was really challenging, but I feel that this does help me improve on bench press. Rack presses are pretty good for that. So then I moved on to a higher height, which is more kind of just lockout work. I did this with 3 sets of 5 with 150 kilos. And again, I really should be moving more than this, but you know, this does exploit my weaknesses, which I think will eventually make me stronger in the long run. Next workout was deadlifts, and as you can notice here, I'm kind of testing my lockout at the top before I go into it, because I had some problems at Tattooed and Strong with turning my feet out too much, and it basically prevented me from getting my hips through, because it was kind of my hips were basically too externally rotated. But testing the lockout at the top seems to prevent that problem and get my feet in the exact right place. This is 235 kilos for 6 sets of 3. That's 75% of 1 rep max, and I really do feel that these should have moved faster. I'm not satisfied with my deadlift yet. I'm usually a lot faster off the floor, and I know what I've done in the past. So with more rehab work and just more training, I feel like, you know, I'll get back to where I was and beyond that. So my assistance movement for deadlifts, my primary one, is like a semi-stiff leg or a semi-conventional, however you want to put it. This was 3 sets of 6 with 145 kilos. Nothing too crazy, but I've not really done any heavy posterior chain work since the injury, so I'm just building up slowly. And I do keep some knee bend in there just to protect my back, but it's not a pure stiff leg. The next one was power shrugs, which Delroy McQueen corrected my form on a couple of months ago when he came up for a seminar, and I'm very grateful for that, because I had been trying to do them, but I was just doing them wrong. So they're really good for explosive power, especially when extending the hip. Okay, here's a bench workout. I had no training partner, so here's Darren the Walrus Sloan helping me out with 3 sets of 4 or 150 kilos. That's let's see, 75% of my 1 rep max. Kind of moved okay, and it's the heaviest I've been since the Euros, so I was fairly satisfied with it. The speed load was exactly the same again, but with 5 sets of 2, this time with a red band. The reason I've gone down to sets of 2 and increased the number of sets is that obviously with speed work, the lower number of reps you do, like 2s and 1s, will increase the actual speed of the reps, because you're not fatiguing towards the end of the set. So that was that, and then moved on to pause squats. Did 5 sets of 2 with 142.5 kilos, same load as last week. Last week I forgot my belt, this week I forgot my knee sleeves, but I do feel like I actually managed to get the weight moving faster, like I said I was going to do. After that I tried some low bar squats for the first time in ages, and I can honestly say that they don't feel as good as high bar squats. They felt bloody horrible actually, and I also feel like I somewhat betrayed Delroy McQueen by trying to move back to low bar. So what I'll be doing instead is like a high bar wide stance squat, just to build my hips up and to assist my squat and sumo deadlift too. Speaking of sumo deadlifts, that was what I finished with, 5 sets of 2. Again, kind of building up the volume from last week, as last week was a deload week, and this was 125 kilos, 40% more in rep max for 5 sets of 2. Speed could have been better, but again I will work on that in the coming weeks. And that was it.